Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, today we discuss data collection methods, step 7, general appearance and getup of the questionnaire. As you know that the research process for the basic and applied research have 11 steps, but we have discussed nowadays a step 7 with the details. As you know that the data collection methods have framework. We have already discussed some principles and data collections introductions. Principle of wording we have already discussed, and in the principle of measurement we have already discussed regarding to development of the questionnaires. Today we have a last principle, general getup of the questionnaires. The general getup of the questionnaires is based on appearance of the questionnaires, length of the questionnaires, introduction of the respondent, and instructions for completions of the questionnaires. The general appearance and the getup, how the questionnaires looks and how the questionnaires attract to their respondent and to the audience to where you want to collect the data. An attractive and neat and clean questionnaires definitely have a good impact on the respondent. But the general appearance and the getup have some important points which a researcher keep in the mind during developing of the questionnaires. For example, introductions, instructions also be given in the questionnaires, a well arrayed and set of the questions with the sequence in given during development of the questions, and response alternative will make it easier for the respondent to answer them, and also be the general and good appearance of the questionnaires help the respondent to respond and easily, and they have to like to understand easily the questionnaires through the general getup of the questionnaires. The appearance of the questionnaires basically based on some points, and you should be take some a outline during developing your questionnaires. First things, the appearance and the getup of the question, which things are most important during developing and during the implement the principles of appearance and getup during developing of the questionnaires. Introduction the respondent, to give a detailed introduction to the respondent about the purpose of your questionnaires and your research survey. Giving the instruction, detailed instruction in the questionnaires about the filling of the question, how the respondent can fill the questionnaires, how they answer the questionnaires, and you can also be give the instruction if you are flow out the electronic questionnaires, if you have flow out a physical face-to-face questionnaires. Well organized questionnaires also be help to the researcher to taking a good response from the respondent. Demographic data, most important. The demographic data basically is linked with a respondent. A detailed and demographic data help the researcher to finding out a demographic information from a respondent. Sensitive personal data, you make sure that the personal data, the sensitive data should be confident, and the worry about the respondent or the confidential data, you are sure that your personal information keep in confident all the time. Open-ended question, at the end you should be organized and synchronize the open-ended question at the end of the question and not be at the opening of the questionnaires. And the concluding and the concluding remarks, and also be give a thanksful remarks to the respondent at the end of the question. But before ending these point, we want to go on to discuss some important points of the questionnaires. Number one, the length of the questionnaires. The length of the questionnaires have the important role for getting the good response from the respondent. Basically, there is no a universal law, no the optimal length of the question is described in the books from a expert of the questionnaire developers, but the maximum more than 34 questions create a hectic for the respondent. It depends on the respondents maybe you have make a lengthy questionnaires and the short question. Sometimes it depends on the researchers needs, and also be the depends on the respondent population and respondent selection where the researcher want to collect the data. The questionnaire should be short, simple. If you want to getting the more response rate on the lengthy questions is very low as compared to the short questionnaires. That is some tips and some guideline regarding to the length of the questionnaires. You know that the length of the question is highly related to the response of the introduction to respondent. You should be given a proper, a sound and good attractive introductions about your research, about your aim of the research. Clearly disclose the identity of the researchers and convey the purpose of the survey and the research which the researcher have done to be, and the researcher have asked to the question during the survey. The motivate first things in the questionnaires. During the questionnaire design, you should be motivate the respondent about responding and filling the questionnaires. Assurance for the confident information, their personal information always keep in confident, not be worried about that. And end on the courteous note. Your note should be ending your questionnaire and the courteous note like thanks, and you give the time, most precious time to filling our questionnaire, our survey. That types of compliment you should be given at the end of the questionnaire. The most important part of the questionnaire during the questionnaire is our instruction for the completion. If you give a proper, a good instruction, the chances of missing of the data will be eliminated definitely. If your instruction is not you will not be given the instruction for how the respondent completion the question. For example, how the respondent create your statement like that: likeness, dislikeness, agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. All information regarding to scale, regarding to the grade, you should be clearly given in the instruction part of the questionnaires. If your instructions is mostly clear and understandable for the respondent, it help the researcher to eliminate the missing data during tabulation and the result tabulation the data in the software in the Excel sheet. That's it. The necessary things for the researcher should be given the instruction for completion of the survey, to give a complete instruction to the respondent. About today lecture, I hope you will be understand our lecture regarding to the principles of getup and appearance. Stay blessed, and inshallah we will be met in the next video. Take care.